Hi everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. A few weeks back I shared with you how to make the kojic acid and turmeric facial cleansing pads along with the foaming facial wash, and I really wanted to share with you another video where I formulate with kojic acid, but I wanted it to be a leave-on product versus a rinse-off or wash-away product. So today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make a kojic acid facial toner. In today's video, I'm going to be going over my step-by-step process and tutorial of how to make this kojic acid facial toner. And if you would like the full written formula plus a full written detailed step-by-step tutorial, please head on over to my Patreon campaign. I'll have it over there at just the $5 level. If you haven't had a chance to check out my campaign yet, or you have been a patron and you want to revisit it, I'll go ahead and place the link to my campaign in the description box below for you. There's so much to take advantage of. Just at the $5 level, you have access to hundreds of formulas and tutorials. At the $7 level, you have access to everything I've ever published over there. There's just so many resources for you to take advantage of. It's a great way to connect with me and other makers. We have 4 other tiers over there as well, each with their own unique benefits. We offer things like live monthly hangouts, coupon codes to my favorite suppliers upon sign up, and also monthly gift packages and quarterly classes. So I hope that you'll come and check it out and see what thousands of other makers have come to really enjoy about my campaign. All right, let's get started. All right, so this formula is broken up into 2 phases, and from phase A, we're going to go ahead and weigh off the powdered ingredients necessary for this formula. The first one is kojic acid. Now, kojic acid really is the star of the show here. It's very well known for its ability to even out the skin tone, reduce the appearance of dark marks, age spots, melasma, sun damage. It's a pretty inexpensive ingredient, and it works very well if you use it consistently. It is made out of the fermentation of aspergillus or fungus. And we're going to go ahead and weigh it off into this little container here. You have to be careful when formulating with kojic acid. You really kind of have to know what you're doing because you want to make sure that it doesn't oxidize in your formula. And it can oxidize if you get your formula too hot. So you need to be very careful. And also certain ingredients can also cause it to oxidize. So you need to be very careful. And you don't want to use too much. You really don't have to use a lot to make it an effective product. The next thing we're going to do is weigh off some allantoin. Allantoin is known for its soothing properties. So this is not going to be a astringent type toner. Because we have the kojic acid in here, I wanted to also balance it out with some soothing ingredients like allantoin. Allantoin comes from the comfrey plant. And we're going to go ahead and add that in. And then we're also not going to be using any witch hazel in this formula. I've shown you a couple other toners with witch hazel in the formula, and I just wanted this one to be more nourishing and a little less astringent and drying. Okay. And then we're just going to go ahead and set this aside. Still in phase A, we're going to go ahead and weigh off some distilled water. By the way, if your kojic acid does happen to oxidize, it can really irritate your skin. So you just need to be very careful in how you use it. Make sure it's not an expired product, and make sure that it doesn't oxidize with the other ingredients that you're using in your formula. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and pop this in the microwave just to warm it up a little bit. We don't want to get it too hot though. In fact, this particular kojic acid, you don't want to get the water any hotter than 104 degrees Fahrenheit, because that can cause issues with changing the kojic acid. So I'm going to warm this up just slightly. It will help our powders to dissolve in here, and I'll be right back when we're ready for that step. All right, we're sitting right at 100 degrees now. We're just gonna go ahead and dump the powdered ingredients into the water. And then I'm gonna give them a good stir to dissolve and combine. Now, I'm not exactly sure how much a formula like this would cost if you were to buy it in the store totally packaged up and ready to go. I imagine it would be a fairly expensive facial toner if you were to buy it at a department store. All right, all of those powders are now well incorporated and all dissolved, so it's time to weigh in the other ingredients in the water phase. So we're going to start off by weighing out the preservative. We're just going to put it in this little container just because it's such a small amount that we're weighing. This is a little bit more accurate than my bigger scale for weighing off smaller amounts. So we're going to go ahead and weigh off some liquid Germall Plus preservative. And we're using liquid Germall Plus today because it's really good for watery based ingredients, watery based formulas like this one, and it works with a wide range of pHs. Very effective, broad spectrum. We're still going to go ahead and weigh this off. And then we're going to go ahead and weigh off some sodium lactate. Now, sodium lactate is going to act as our humectant for this formula. Humectants are great for drawing moisture out of the air and into your skin. Sodium lactate is a natural product made from the fermentation of beetroots, and it's basically kind of like a sugar, and it's a natural product, and we're going to go ahead and weigh this off. We're using this in place of glycerin today because sodium lactate, in my opinion, in a formula like this, where it mostly consists of watery products, watery ingredients, sodium lactate is a little less sticky than glycerin, although you could certainly use glycerin and adjust the amount. If it feels sticky, you can reduce it. I like sodium lactate. Okay. Next, we're going to be weighing off a couple different extracts. Now, I have chosen nettle extract and rosehip extract. These are both water-soluble extracts that I got from Wholesale Supplies Plus. And the reason I've chosen them is nettle extract is very well known for its hair and skin-loving properties. It's an anti-inflammatory, and it can be very healing. So we're using some nettle for its anti-inflammatory properties here. And rosehip, we're using the rosehip extract for its beautiful anti-aging properties. It's anti-inflammatory as well, but it's well known for its antioxidants and anti-aging properties. Now, these two extracts have a kind of a richer color to them, so this will affect the overall look of the toner. It's not going to be like a crystal clear color. It's going to be a little bit tan. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and pour the rest of my phase A ingredients into my phase A container here. And we're just going to stir to combine. So as you can see, this is pretty close to the final color that we're going to get. We just have a few more ingredients to add. So I wanted to add a little bit of essential oils to this product, and obviously oils and waters don't mix, so you have to solubilize your oils, or in other words, use a solvent to disperse the oils into your watery concoctions so that they don't separate from each other. They're going to be blended and homogeneous, and you don't have to shake this formula up or anything like that. So our solvent of choice today is going to be PEG 40 hydrogenated castor oil, and we're also going to be using some lavender and vanilla essential oils. The hydrogenated castor oil is going to act as a solvent to these oils and help disperse it evenly throughout the water. the watery ingredients. Now, if you don't want to use any pegs in your formula, some people have a problem with using pegs. You can simply leave out the essential oil and just leave the formula as is. If you wanted to add fragrance, you could add a water-soluble hydrosol or hydrosol essential water instead of all distilled water. That would add a little bit of properties from the plants, and also it would add a little bit of light fragrance. So there's some things you can do if you don't want to use pegs. It just means that you can't use oils mixed with your waters because they will eventually separate out. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and weigh off the PEG 40 hydrogenated castor oil. It's kind of just a gelatinous, it's a lot like the consistency of like a Vaseline, a little bit runnier than Vaseline, I'd say. Just a little more. Perfect. All right, so we're going to go ahead and weigh off now into the same container our lavender and vanilla essential oils. I love the combination of lavender and vanilla. I think it smells so good. And we're just using a little bit because, again, this is a facial product and you don't want too much fragrance in your facial products. It can be irritating. Even essential oils, even though they're all natural, they can still be irritating if you use too much. Lavender is very soothing, so I really like this one for facial care use. And this will be a great one to add into the toner for its soothing and calming properties. And then we're going to use some vanilla in combination with this. This is a great one to mix with lavender because it does smell super good when combined. So vanilla is known for its calming and hydrating properties, vanilla essential oil. So I really tried to balance out the soothing and calming properties, hydrating properties. We don't want to add any other kind of drying ingredients to a formula like this. Again, we are using kojic acid, so that's potent enough. We just want the rest of this to be balanced out with some nice soothing and hydrating ingredients. So I'm just mixing my oil with my PEG 40 hydrogenated castor oil, making sure that it's well solubilized before I add it to the batch over here. So what's going to happen is as soon as I add this in and start to stir it around into my other ingredients here, it is going to kind of clump up in certain areas and get a little stringy and stretchy looking. Don't worry, it will incorporate. You just have to give it a few minutes and it will make the formula look a little bit cloudy temporarily. It will go back to being a crystal clear formula over the course of a day or so. PEG 40 hydrogenated castor oil is a lot easier to combine when everything is warm. Like if you melt this down, if you melted this down and then this was also warm. But again, remember we're using kojic acid and we don't want to warm up the formula too much because then we risk oxidizing the kojic acid. So I'm adding it in at the temperature that it is now, which is probably pretty close to room temperature. And it will dissolve. It just takes a little bit of extra time versus when everything is warmed through. So we just want to make sure, in this case, we're adding it in room temperature. Also, the PEG 40 hydrogenated castor oil is going to give this formula a little bit of a velvety, silky skin feel, which is another reason why I like to use it in this type of a formula. So as you can see, I'm hoping you can see, it's not dispersing right away. Just like I said, it's kind of got a stringy, like gel-like little strands in there. So we're just going to continue to stir until this is fully incorporated. I'll bring you back when we're ready to package this up. All right, once everything is mixed in and homogeneous looking, it will look like this. As you can see, this is going clear, has gone mostly clear. Give this a day or so to completely clear up, but you can see there's no oil separating from my formula, and it's not as cloudy as it looked when I first mixed in everything together. So we're gonna go ahead and package this up. I'm just reusing this container. This is an empty toner container with a little reducer on it that goes here. This was a rose toner that I had from Pixie. Pixie has a nice rose toner, and so I've just saved the container to go ahead and use it for this. We're just gonna go ahead and pour it in. I made a total of 10 ounces today, which is about 283 grams. And look at that, it fits my rose toner container perfectly. This container was so perfect, why not reuse it? So we're just gonna go ahead and put the little reducer cap on there. Perfect. And then the little lid. And there you go. We just made a Kojic acid facial toner, great for dark marks, melasma, acne, scars, beautiful for your skin tone. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Leave me some questions and comments below. That really means a lot to me. Share this video with a friend, and why not subscribe to my channel? All right, everyone, catch you on the next video. Bye. Keep shining.